Hi, welcome back to Father Ted Talks. Today I wanted to talk about the topic of uh, serving the church, not using the church. And what do I mean by this? Well, a lot of times we approach the church, and I've said in other videos as well, especially in my recent videos on, wealth and responsibility and money in the church, like a lot of times we view the church as an institution or a program that we consume. I pay my membership, I pay for a certain program, I donate for a certain sacrament, and I am receiving a product, right? And a lot of times, because we live in kind of a society that has this kind of commercialism, the danger is to kind of think of the church in the same way. And the church is not this. The church is not something that I consume. The programs that the church offers are not something that I buy, but rather the church is a living body of Christ. It is the spiritual hospital. It is the community in which we all come together to become Christ-like. And if I want to become Christ-like, well then, what is the example of Christ? What did Christ do? The Gospel of John, he says, like, I did not come to be served, but I came to serve. And we see this most beautifully, shown in the Last Supper in the Gospel of John, where Jesus takes his clothes off and girds himself with a towel, and he washes the disciples' feet, right? So this idea of being the suffering servant in Isaiah, which is what Christ is, the Messiah, is what we're trying to emulate. And so to be part of the church, to be truly a Christian, is not to be served, but to serve. And this is something that I think we often forget, even as cradle Orthodox Christians or even converts who come into the faith. We're Orthodox for a while, or sometimes we're Orthodox for the majority of our lives, and we forget this one truth, that I am there to serve the church. I am not there for the church to serve me. It is true that the body of Christ, which is the church, and a lot of times the local head, which is the priest, often minister to me. So I am ministered to. I receive spiritual guidance. I receive spiritual healing from the church. But this is the church's function. This is like the way the church heals its members, right? But I am not, procuring something. I'm not buying a product, right? The problem is that when we think of the church in this way, then we begin to look at the church in a selfish way. What can I extract from the church? I pay my membership. I have the right to vote at a annual general meeting. I paid, membership to the youth group or to the dance group or to the Sunday school, whatever, and I have certain rights. This has nothing to do with the church, right? Any money or donations that we give to the church are supposed to be given freely for the proper operation of the church, so that the church can continue to minister to us, right? We are trying to kind of support the household of Christ, just like we automatically support our own households. And so this does not make us entitled to anything, but rather it is a way that we give of ourselves, and we try to give even more of ourselves, so that we become Christ-like. We become good servants and good stewards of the church. And so when we approach the church in the way that we expect something from the church, or we want something from the church, I don't know if this is the positive mentality and the proper way of thinking about it. And we tend to see this with people who come to church. And of course, not to differentiate between people who are more active versus people who are less active, but I would say that we should differentiate between people who understand what the church is and people who may not understand what the church is. People who understand often rarely ever complain. They're there, they give themselves, they work hard, even when they don't like some things, or they disagree with some things, or maybe they're treated badly by other people, they forgive it, they continue on, and they just keep working for the church, they keep working for their fellow human beings. And people who don't understand what the church is tend to complain all the time, tend to always want the church to change for their benefit, because they don't like this and they don't like that. A family doesn't work like this, right? We all work together, and we're all supposed to be able to contribute for the glory of God. And so if we're looking at the church as something that I am there to consume, then I'm better off, not to say that we're better off not going, but if that's what we think the church is, then chances are we shouldn't be, partaking of the sacraments, and we shouldn't be trying to, participate within the life of the church, because we will inevitably get angry, we'll inevitably get upset, and we will inevitably try to bend the church to our own will, to our own needs, to our own selfish desires. Conversely, if we are there and we understand that I am there to grow, I am there to learn humility, I am there to give of myself, to do something different from the rest of the world, for the rest of the time in my life, where I go to my job, which is for myself, when I go to other community events and things like that, secular things that are usually feeding the ego and feeding myself, going to the mall and buying things for myself or my kids or my family, acquiring more wealth. All those things, the movement is inwards. But at the church, the movement should be outwards, always giving of the self. And so this is, I think, the proper mentality, that we are there not to use the church, but to serve the church, right? Nobody is entitled within the church. Not the priest, not the bishop, not the deacons, not the council members, not the ladies of the Fr.TEDTalks, not the youth workers, nobody. Everybody is there, or rather should be there, to work for everyone. And nobody should be treated with any more honor and dignity than the lowest person within the community. Everybody is an image of Christ, and we have to show respect and love to all people, the least of these, my brethren. And so this is the mentality that we should have. One would say that I shouldn't have to make a video like this, but I think it's important once in a while to remind us that what the church is, right? And when I walk into the church, my mind goes to, what can I do? I see a piece of garbage, I pick it up, I throw it away. I see something out of order, I try to help clean it up. I see the priest is maybe doing something, or cleaning the icons or something, I say, Father, can I help you with that? If I see somebody in need, I try to help them. I'm always trying to help other human beings. And then I think this is a very, very positive mentality. And this is the way we are going to become Christ-like, as Christ told us, I came not to be served, but to serve. Till next time, take care and God bless.